For the past 2 years, I've lived in a den. My previous den actually had sliding doors, but this one, curtains. Straight up curtains. Being a student in one of Canada's most expensive cities to rent has definitely taken a toll on my housing situation. This past year, as rental prices plummet by close to 20%, I figured it's finally time I experience what it's like to have a proper door and some windows in my bedroom. It's time to go apartment hunting in Toronto. Now, before I start wandering off into an open house, let's first discuss the 4 basic conditions for my dream apartment. I'm going to be rooming with 2 of my friends, Alan and Norman, and it would be really nice if we could all have our own private space. The second is our budgets. We're looking for a place that's less than $3,500. And I know this may seem a bit cheap, especially trying to find a 3-bedroom in downtown Toronto, but with current rent prices, this is actually very doable. You'll see what I mean when we go into viewings. The third is that it has to be within walking distance of U of T, which is our university. And number 4, this is more of a personal condition. I really want a room with a door and some windows. With all of that said, it's time to head to our first location, which is located right there. Let's go. Okay, so the first place we're checking out today is one that I'm actually very excited about. It's located on Church Street, which is a pretty quiet street, not a lot of things going on. But what's convenient about this place is the location. There's a Loblaws right across the street, and this is actually the Loblaws that I go to for my shopping, so having this right in front of your door is definitely a plus. But I would say my favorite part about this location is that just around the corner, there's a little park with a basketball court that would absolutely be amazing to use during the summer. Enough of this chit chat, let's head inside and check it out. Right when you enter the condo, you're greeted by this long dark hallway. In the far distance, you can see a little bit of sun peering in from the bedroom window, but this is all very misleading because as soon as you turn the corner, there is this wide open living area, flooded with sunlight from floor to ceiling windows that wrap around the entire perimeter. The living area is what attracted us to the condo in the first place. I mean, just look at the amount of sunlight you get. It's absolutely insane. A completely different vibe than my current dodgy den. The kitchen is just off to the side, and although it's a bit small, I wish there were more countertop space. There were a lot of cabinets, which were more than enough for the 3 of us. The only concern I have with this layout is that the kitchen area kind of intrudes into the living room. So we wouldn't be able to fit a couch or a TV, especially with the curve of the perimeter. It would just be one massive kitchen / dining area, which we were completely okay with. The bedrooms were nothing special. There are 3 bedrooms in the condo, and they were all a bit on the smaller end. If we wanted to fit a desk in a room, we most likely wouldn't fit a queen size bed. But I gotta say, every room had huge windows. Very nice. The main selling point of the entire place is the balcony. Not only do the windows wrap around the entire suite, the balcony does as well, giving you a 270-degree view of the Toronto skyline. As you can probably tell, this unit was completely brand new. No one has ever lived here before. Everything from the kitchen to the bathrooms were spotless, which does have its pros and cons. But for a brand new condo, this place was going for $2,900 per month. What? It's crazy how much rent prices have dropped in Toronto. A unit like that, especially being brand new, would have definitely gone for $3,500 plus pre-COVID. It's gonna be a difficult one to beat. Guys, that place was incredible. From the wide open balcony to the amount of sunlight you get from the floor to ceiling windows. I know it's the only place we've gone to so far, but for $2,900, it'll definitely be at the top of our list. The next place we're taking a look at is on Bay Street, which is sort of like the Wall Street financial district equivalent for Toronto. We're a bit more north than where all of the big financial firms are located, but we're on the same street, I guess. There really isn't much else to say about this location. Let's head inside. This place is the largest condo we're taking a look at, and I'll just give you the price right away. It's for $3,500. It's a 3-bed plus den that includes utilities for water and heat. What I like about this place is the kitchen area also had an island, which means much more countertop space than the last location. The bedrooms were a lot bigger, and there was a queen-size bed in each room that we could move around to fit desks. One of the rooms also had the IKEA light that I am completely obsessed with. Although it's really spacious, hovering at 1,200 square feet, it just didn't pass the vibe check. The colors were very old and muted. The furniture, and by all means, having a furnished place is amazing, but they were just so old-fashioned. I mean, just look at that washer and dryer. Those are from like the 1950s. Probably not, but it's very old. It's so old. There were also weird black stains in a carpet that were just a product of time. Definitely not the place. Next! Our next stop is in Yorkville, which is one of Canada's most exclusive shopping districts. This is where you can find high-end stores such as LV, Burberry, Montclair, Gucci, Winners, Coach. Definitely a much more high-end neighborhood, which is reflected in rent prices as well, because Yorkville is home to one of Toronto's most expensive condos. Except the place we're checking out today only goes for $2,900. A bit sus, but let's go check it out. Before we get into anything first, let's talk about the washrooms. I didn't really talk about bathrooms in the previous two units because, well, they're just bathrooms, but god damn! This is one of the most beautiful bathrooms I've seen in a condo, hands down. The design, the tiles, the shapes, it just fit really well with my own personal aesthetic. The kitchen is also very modern, gave off sort of the same vibe, and had a nice little island for additional countertop space. The fridge though, it's one of those small hidden cabinet fridges that are pretty common in Toronto condos, but for 3 people, I can barely manage this size of a fridge with my current roommate, and I only have one. Across from the kitchen, you got these nice floor-to-ceiling windows that just provide so much sunlight. But as you get closer to the window, it becomes much more apparent why this place was going for so cheap in Yorkville. Condo construction and a fire station were the friendly neighbors. I guess in a few months, there won't be much sunlight after all. And this poor balcony. I mean, what is even the point of having a small box like this? To just head outside and listen to the fire truck sirens? I don't know. And on top of that, the bedrooms were microscopic, and that's not even an exaggeration. Even the master bedroom most likely wouldn't have enough space for a queen-size bed. In fact, the entire place was just really small. This fact, in addition to the friendly neighbors, made the price of $2,900 much more reasonable. Give it a sec. Now, after going to all of these viewings, you might think that we have our hearts set on the first location with that wraparound balcony. But there's actually one more place we haven't checked out yet because the tenants are still living there and they don't want any viewings until they move out, probably because of COVID. I'm really hoping we can sew it up soon because if it looks anything like the pictures and the marketing, which I'll get to in a sec, that place might just be the one. Before we visit that place, we made a trip to another location first. This viewing was a bit more spontaneous than the rest. This is the cheapest place we're taking a look at for only $2,700 per month. It's located on Bay and actually just a few blocks down from the second location. The space was comparable to the Yorkville one, having roughly the same square footage at 800 square feet. The kitchen is just a little nook off to the side. It's a corner kitchen, so it was quite small. The living area is also not that big. The previous tenants were just using it as an office space. But there is that separation from the kitchen and the living area, making it feel much more spacious. The bedrooms were not that impressive, quite small actually, and one of them had 2 sliding doors that we didn't feel too sure about. I was pleasantly surprised with the view from the balcony, but we did go during golden hour, so that probably played a role. Aside from the view, there were also these weird bumps in the flooring that, according to the current tenants, hasn't been fixed in over a year. Yeah, similar to the Yorkville condo, it just wasn't quite big enough to house 3 college boys. I mean, young professionals. You gotta use those terms when you're trying to find a place in Toronto as a student. On to the next place. This place. this place was magical. From the moment I saw the listing on condos.ca, I knew this would be different than all of the other apartments in our price range. It literally had everything we could have asked for. Large bedrooms, a kitchen made for gods, a freaking Keurig, and before I get too ahead of myself, did I mention the virtual tour? They hired some guy to go around with a 3D camera for an interactive floor plan. Enough of the hype, let's go check it out. As soon as you walk through the doors, you're flooded with sunlight. What's different about this unit compared to the previous ones we've seen is that the space is huge. Having these two large south-facing windows lit up the entire suite was absolutely amazing to see. And that living area? Whew! Not only is it large as fuck, the condo is fully furnished, so the couches, TV, tables were all ours to keep. All of this is completely separated from the kitchen by this peninsula. Oh, and the kitchen, definitely one of the biggest selling points of the entire unit. We got this industrial sized fridge and freezer that could definitely fit a person for when, you know, if it gets too hot in the summer and you want to cool down. Right next to that are 2 ovens, which is such a weird flex but okay thing. Like, why would you ever need 2 ovens? But okay. There's also a wine cooler, as if there wasn't enough space in the fridge already. The in-suite washer and dryer were also massive compared to anything I've ever seen in a Toronto apartment. And the washrooms, although nothing too fancy, fit really well with the vibe of the entire place. Now, before I go on, let me tell you the rent price. $3,500. It's the same price as the second unit on Bay. And wow, they are light years apart. There's no way a fully furnished condo in downtown Toronto can be that cheap. There's gotta be a compromise with the bedrooms or something, right? I hate to break it to you, but there was nothing wrong. The rooms all had queen size beds and more than plenty of space to fit a desk and other furniture. They all had huge windows accompanied by blackout blinds, which is such a nice touch. And the master bedroom had not 1, had not 2, but 3 of those Death Star IKEA lights. I was complete after that viewing. But just before you leave, be sure to take a brochure of the condo and face masks provided by the listing agent as like a souvenir in case you never visit again. I really wanted to visit again. Let's see how the application process goes. Now that I've gone to all of the viewings, it's time for the most tedious and stressful part of the entire process. I don't know if you could tell from the viewings, but I really liked the Wellesley place. Although it's a bit pricey for our budget, it's a steal for what it's worth. And well, I'm not the only one who thought that way. Just a couple of hours after I viewed the place, my realtor called and told me that 2 other groups had already put down an offer. If we wanted to be considered, we needed to get our documents together ASAP. And there's quite a lot. In order to set up an application, we would need a full Equifax credit report, past 12 months bank statements, enrollment letters, landlord references, and because we're students, it would be best to have our parents be guarantors, so we would need their bank statements, credit scores, and letter of employment as well. All of these documents would need to be sent over to the listing agent by the end of the day. Thankfully, having gone through this tedious process once before, I made it a priority to get all of these documents prepared before I even went on a viewing. So I sent over these documents, signed the applications, and handed off to the landlord. This is where things got really stressful.
Coming in at 3,600.
Ooh.
That's the only first. They can take us at friggin' 30.
The other group's like completely identical to us.
That's a little bit weird.
Basically the situation is that there's another group of students who are basically the same group as us. They're all from U of T, and the landlord for some reason prefers us over the other group. The problem is this other group are coming in with an offer at 3,600. 3,600. That is a bit more pricey than the listing price. I discussed it with my roommates and we would like to negotiate with them, but we just gotta wait for Pavel to respond, and hopefully it turns out in our favor. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get this place. Fuck, it was so nice. Let's try to go for other places. At this point, I guess that's the only other option. But I'll wait for my realtor to get back to me. we can move forward. I'm getting really nervous. So yesterday there was a whole fiasco where the landlord didn't respond to us, right? But today he wants to have a Zoom meeting with the three of us as one final screening. I really hope he accepts our offer and we get the place, but yeah, meeting is in around 5 minutes. Let's see what we got.
Hello? Anyone? Hello? Alright,
We got the place, boys! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! As you probably realized by now, I'm filming this entire sequence at my new place. MTV, welcome to my crib. Although I went through this entire process during my final season, I must say trying to get this place was so much more stressful than any of my exams. Maybe that's why I got a 55 on one of my finals. But that aside, if you have any questions about trying to find an apartment in downtown Toronto, be sure to leave a comment down below. I gotta go out and move some more furniture now, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace.